Good day everyone. Today is day 3 for learning Python with data science, and I'll basically go straight to my computer and show you some other things that we're going to be doing today. Okay, so let's dive down to my computer. Now we're going to go straight to the video on what we're going to do today. So I'm going to come here and say Python. You know what we did? So we open this IDLE. Okay, wait for it. Then we have our IDLE. We're going to open this new file. Click on the new file. We have these two guys like this. So today is going to be the last day of using this particular IDLE. I think the next one we're going to be doing is going into Jupyter Notebook and see how that environment is. In logos analysis, I want to teach you guys everything so that you basically understand different softwares that you can write your Python codes in. Okay, so you don't have to be carried away. Okay, so today's topic, firstly, like I always say, is you have to save your file. You understand? Firstly, you have to save your file. So what you're going to do is to come to your file, click on Save As, and your Save As is going to bring out this particular thing here. And all you just have to do is to come to your documents and type for the particular one you're looking for inside Blue Ghost. And now in this Blue Ghost, I want to say day 3, okay? Because today is the day 3 for Python. Always in capital letter. I click on Save. Now you can see we have this guy save as day 3. Okay, so now in today's topic, I'm going to be talking about string methods. I'm going to be talking about string methods. So that's what I'm going to write here: string methods. And what are string methods? What are string methods? String methods are just basic format that your string can look like. Do you understand? Let me break it down. I always break things down in the sense that, let's say you are writing your alphabet letter, you have the lowercase and you have the uppercase. So those are the forms that your alphabet letter can be in. Do you understand? It's neither in what? Capital letter or in lowercase. So in here, I can now go to the first one that we have is the lower. I think we have 4. We have the lower, we have capitalize, we have strip, we have split, we have title. Okay, those are the basics string method that we have. So I'm going to write them down here. I'm going to say string. First one we have is lower. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 string methods. So I'm going to save this. So now let's see how we can implement this particular string method to our data set. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say, let's say I have word 1, and in word 1, I'm going to create something like this. Let's say Blue Ghost Insights is understandable. Smart sound. Okay, so we have that statement or that sentence. So in this area, I'm going to say word 1 dot lower. Okay, let's start with the upper first. So we say upper, and the upper, we're going to have these 2 parentheses. Okay, so the next one is word 1 dot capitalize. So that capitalize, we have to make sure it's spelled correctly like this. Then word 1 dot split like this. Then word 1 dot title. So we already have that. So all I just have to do, there's something that's going on here. There's an error. Yeah, the error we have in here, we're going to have is that we didn't use the print function. Okay, so we're going to come here and just try to adjust the code. I'll say print open parentheses and I'll close parentheses. So I'm going to do that for everyone. So I'm going to skip the video so that we save time. Smart sound. Okay, so we are done adjusting the code. So now let's see how it looks like. I'm going to run module. Okay, we have an error here. The capitalize is not correct. Capitalize is not correct, so there's something we're missing there. So I think it's the C. I think the C is all lowercase. So we come down here and run the module. No, not that. I'll just come to F5. So the split as well. Why are we forgetting to add them in all lowercase? So you see, I said I'm going to be transparent with my errors. So you can see we're already having errors here. And why is because some of the characters are neither uppercase. So whenever you're writing your code, is character sensitive. So you have to make sure that everything is how you want it to be. So let's see how this works. So Ctrl S, F5. Let's see what happens. So you can see everything is out. The logos inside is understandable. You can see when we said word 1.upper, you can see everything that we have here are all in uppercase. Then you can see the second one, which is word 1.capitalize. You can see this first letter, this B, is the only one that is what? Capital letter there. Okay, while the rest are all in lowercase. So that is how this particular one functions. The split will basically split each of this particular thing in different strings. So you can see blue goes is in another string, insight is in another string, is in another string, understandable is in another string, just the way it's written there. Okay, so the next guy is title. So you can see in the title we have the blue, the B in capital letter, the I in capital letter, the I in capital letter, the U in capital letter. So that's what the title does. It goes to each of the first character of each of the words and make them capital letter. Okay, so we have everything here already. As you can see, everything that we have is inside of here. So there are still many more string methods you should also keep in mind as well. Apart from all these ones, there are different string methods that you can think of. Okay, lower is not there. So if I want to include lowercase, so let's see how we can do that. We say print, and I will come here and I'll say word 1.lower. Okay, so word 1.lower. So Ctrl S, F5. You see we have everything all in lowercase. So you can see how simple that is. Okay, so it's as simple as that. Next thing we're now going to go into now is data type conversion. We're going to go straight to the data type conversion like this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to ask myself is, what is data type conversion? Data type conversion is the act of you converting a particular data type to another type of data type, meaning that we have different type of data type, right? We have integer, we have the string, we have the boolean, we have float. Okay, these are the 4 data type I talked about in my previous video. Okay, so now let's say I want to convert from integer to string, from string to integer, from float to integer, and so on and so forth, right? You can convert from a boolean to something else, but you can convert those 3 data type. Okay, so what can we do? How can we do them? You understand? How can we implement them? What is the acronym behind it? The first thing I want you to understand is that we have 2 types of data type. We have the implicit and we have the explicit conversion. Are you following? We have the implicit and we have the explicit. So I'm going to talk about each of those particular conversion. The implicit is the act of your computer knowing the type of data type you're talking about. Do you understand? Let me give you an example. I will come here and say, let me say num 1 into 90. So how does my computer know that this is an integer? That is known as what? An implicit conversion. All I just have to do is to come and tell my computer print, and in front of it I will say type. I'll say type. What's the type of this particular word variable? And I'll put what? num1. If I put num1, I Ctrl S and I come to F5, you're going to see it says what? Integer. Are you following? It said this particular data type is known as what? An integer. Okay, so you can see that particular aspect is known as what? An implicit. So I'll just come here and write implicit conversion. Okay. Then next is known as what? The explicit conversion. Explicit conversion is the one that you as your programmer, you as a data scientist, or whoever you are in this field, is the act of converting from a particular data type to another data type. So let's say we have integer and we have string, and you want to convert these two to this particular one. How can you now implement it? All I just have to do is to create a variable. Let me create a variable num2. Remember, making your variable unique is one of the powerful things you have to keep in mind as well. So always give them a unique name. Okay, so let's say this is what let me use another number. Let's say 100, like this. And now I want to convert this integer. You know this is an integer, right? Okay, this is an integer in default. I want to convert this num2 to float. How can I do that? All I just have to do is to come here and say print. In front of it, I'm going to say float. So that's a short form for conversion for float. Then you convert what? Num2. Can you see that? So we'll say Ctrl S and F5. So you can see it's now 100.0. Can you see that? It's now 100.0. So all I just have to do is to add the print, call the print, then call the particular data type I want to convert that variable to. So I want to convert this variable to what? Float. So we have 100.0. So the next one now, let's say we have num3, and num3 I want to have something like this. Let's say 85, right? So I want to add this 85 plus 100. But remember, this is a string. Are you following? So watch what happens if I just try to add it together. So let's say I have a variable known as add. I say add num2 plus num3. Can you see this? And let's print add. I'll come here and say print add. Ctrl S, F5. You see an error popped up, right? You can see unsupported operand type S. You can see you cannot add integer and string together. But how can I be able to use this particular thing right here? All I just have to do is to come here and say int in front of it and open parentheses and make sure that this particular thing is enclosed with this integer. And if I run this particular one and I click on F5, you can see we now have 100 and what? 85 here. Can you see that? It's as simple as that. Okay, so it's as simple as that. So we now have 185 because we converted this 85 to what? An integer. Are you following? So that's that about data type conversion. Another thing we're now going to go into is operators. What are operators in Python? Operators are special symbols that perform some operation on operands and returns results. That's a simple definition for operators. And what are the types of operators that we have? We have the arithmetic operator, we have the assignment operator, we have the comparison operator, we have the logical, we have the membership, and we have the identity operator. So I'm basically going to explain each of these operators step by step so that basically you can understand them, and whenever you see them you say, oh, this particular operator, this particular symbol, this particular keyword belongs to this operator. Are you following? Okay, so pay attention. The first one is the arithmetic operator. What's the arithmetic operator? It's just your mathematical symbols. Are you following? Your addition, subtraction, exponential, division, floor division, and so on and so forth. Those are your arithmetic operators that we're going to be using in Python. Okay, so the other thing is the assignment operator. What is the assignment operator? Remember, in my particular in my IDLE here, I said when you have something like this, so let's say I have num4, this particular thing is known as what? An assignment operator. This is an assignment operator. This is not just an equal to in Python. Are you following? So this is an assignment operator used to assign data type or values to a variable. So apart from moving variables and values, what other thing can I use this assignment operator to do? You can use it to increment numbers. Are you following? Let me give you an example. So let's say here is 90 and I want to be able to increment this by 2. I want it to be 92 in the output. How can I do that? I'm going to say num4 plus equal to what? Let's say it's 92, right? I'll add plus 2 to it. So if you come here and say print num4, Ctrl S, F5, you're going to see what? 92. Why is 92 there? Is because I've used the assign operator to add 2 to this particular variable. Can you see that? So next we have is the comparison operator. The name alone stands for itself. Comparison operator is just used to compare 2 or more values. Do you understand? Let's say we want to say greater than 20 is greater than 100, 30 is greater than 50. Do you understand? 50 is greater than 100, 100 is greater than 50, less than or equals to. All those particular symbols that you use even in primary school then or in university, you basically meet them here as well. So all those operators are very, very important here as well. Okay, so the third is logical operator. This logical operator cannot be overemphasized. Please, this logical operator is very important, especially for programming, as we're going to venture into programming later in the future. This logical operator. Okay, so in the logical operator now, how many logical operator do we have? We have the AND, we have OR, and we have NOT. Those are the three keywords that we have in the logical operator. Are you following? Okay, let me give a simple example. Let me break it down to your understanding. Let's say I say something like this. Welcome to Blue Ghost. I want you to subscribe and like. Are you following? So when you bring that condition to your computer, and let's say the person only subscribed but didn't like, is going to return false. Are you following? So it's going to return false in the sense that if only the person will subscribe and also like, that is when the condition is going to return true. So when you're using the AND logical operator, the two conditions must be true. It's as simple as that. Are you following? Now, let me give another scenario. Let me say subscribe or like. When you bring it to the computer, it's going to return true if one condition is true. Are you following? So if the user decides to subscribe, it's going to return true. If also the user decides to like, it's also going to return true. It's as simple as that. Then NOT is just a reversal of everything. We're now going to go straight to the comparison operators. And I said we have something that's the greater than. This is known as the greater than. So I'll start with this. So greater than. So I'm going to skip this part so that we save a lot of time. Okay, so I'm done writing. You can see we have the greater than, and you can see this symbol is for the greater than. Then the less than is this symbol. Then greater or equal to is this particular one. Less than or equal to, you can see is this one. Your equal to that you've been looking for. I know you've been asking yourself, then what is equals to then if that other one is assigned operator? This particular one is now the equal to in Python. So whenever you just want to check between two values, if they are the same, we use this particular symbol, just double of that particular assignment. Okay, so this is the equal to. Then not equal to is exclamation mark with that equal to sign. Okay, so not equal to at all. So this is the particular comparison operators that we have in Python. Okay, so I'm going to go straight to the next guy, which is logical operator, and I'm going to say logical operator. Okay, so let's also text this guy as well. This guy, we forgot to write his title, comparison operator, so that you guys don't forget. Okay, so I'm going to go straight to this guy, the logical operator. I say we have the AND, we have the AND, we have OR, we have NOT. Those are the three that we have. Okay, we're just writing them down. So I want to basically now implement them so you can see how we actually use these particular operators. Okay, so underneath here, I'm going to join the comparison operator that we have here, this comparison operator, to the logical operator. Let's bring them together. But let me take it step by step for those beginners that don't understand what I'm basically talking about, so that you basically have a grip of what we're saying. So the first one I'm going to say, let's say I have something like this, num5, and num5 I want it to be 100, and I also want to have num6, and num6 I want it to be, let's say, 95. Okay, so I can say num5 is less than num6. Can you see this? Num5 is less than num6. So watch what's going to happen is always return in a Boolean form. Watch, if I say Ctrl S and come to F5, you can see we have the 92. Okay, sorry. Yeah, in Python, you always use this print. We didn't print it out, so you have to add the print to the back. Like I said, I'll always be transparent so that you can understand. You can see it returned what? False. Because if you check, num5 is not less than num6, because num5 is 100, while num6 is what? 95. Are you seeing? So this is the comparison operator that we used here. Okay, so now let's mix these two together now. So let's say I want to say print something like this. num6 is less or equal to num5, and I bring this AND condition and I say num6 is equals to num5. Can you see this? Ctrl S, F5, and you can see false. Why? The first one is for this one. Why this other one is for what? This one. What does that mean? You're saying num6 is less or equals to num5, and num6 is 95, is less than, yes, but it's not equals to 100. Are you seeing? It's not equals to 100. And now you're saying num6 is equals to num5. These particular two conditions are false, so it's going to basically return false. So even though one condition is true, let's say I say this one is less than, because num6 is less than num5. Let's say it's less than. I can come here and I'll put F5. You can see it still return false, right? Why? Because this other condition is false, because num6 is not equals to num5. So now let's make this particular condition return true. All I just have to do is to, let's say, not equal to. I put that not equal to, Ctrl S, and I bring F5. You see it returned what? True. Return true. It's as simple as that. So that's how the logical operator and the comparison operator can work hand in hand. Let's say I also change this guy. Let me also, for my viewer's sake, I can come here and say, let's say here is OR. I can say I want to use OR instead of that particular one. Now let's make this guy less, and let's make this one equal to. Now Ctrl S, and we'll come to F5. You see it's true. You see this other one returned true. Why this other one was returned true? Because in OR, one condition must be true. It's as simple as that. Okay, and that is that about the comparison and the logical operator. Okay, so remember, any question, anything you don't understand, please click the link below or hit my Telegram link to join the community. You understand? Paste your question. I will attend to you quickly, as fast as possible. So I'm going to say, let's say I have 8. Okay, so back to this part. I skipped it a little bit, so to save time. So you see, the first thing I did was to create a variable A and B. I can see in this A, we have a list of values inside, and this B, we have a list of value. But for now, you will not understand this particular thing I just wrote here. But in our next video, in day 4, I'll explain this iterable object to you guys clearly. Okay, so in this membership operator, all I just have to do is just to confirm the identity of each of the variable that we have there. Okay, to confirm the identity of each of the variable that we have there. So for instance, I can say is so the two keywords that we have here is in. We have the in, and we also have, we also have the not in. The not in. Okay, so those are the two we have in this particular area. So it's just a membership kind of operator. Do you understand? Just like, let me give you an instance. Let's say you have a group of friends and you are not yet part of those group of friends. Do you understand? Then eventually you're now part of this group of friends, and they have a group on, let's say, WhatsApp or wherever, where they communicate, and they will be like, is this guy in this group yet? Do you understand? So you're not yet a member of that group. So if they go and check and they find out that you're not a member, then they can now add you to the group. So it's as simple as that. That's how membership operator is. Do you understand? Okay, so now I can just come here and just say is 5. You can say 5 in A. 5 in A. Who can tell me what it's going to return? It's going to return true, of course. You can see it returns true, of course, but this one is not the right one. Why? It's not giving me this. So here we have to enclose this guy. Okay, so I think let's save it now. Ctrl S, F5. Okay, so you can see the true for this guy is now here because 5 is in what? A. So go ahead, play around with this membership. That's that for the membership. Then the identity is just the reversal of whatever we have here. So let me give you an example. So I can say print. I can say A is B. A is B. Is A B? No, it's not, because what A contains, B does not contain those values. Are you following? So if I Ctrl S and I click on F5, we see false. Why? Because A is not B. But in the membership, in the membership operator, we have is and is not. Okay, so we have is and is not. Okay, why this guy here? Okay, so why this guy is the membership operator, why this other guy is identity. Okay, so that's that about this one. So that's that about all the operators that we have. So I'm going to go straight ahead to the next guy, which is the impute function, that we have in Python. This is the most important part you should be mindful of. Trust me, you don't want to miss out in this part. Okay, so the impute function, I'll come here and say impute function. So I'm going to give a brief definition on the input function. Input function is used to collect data from user of a program in Python. Let's say you want to get an information from a user in the front end. What implements that particular thing is known as the input function. Let me give you an instance. In your registration form online, before you even sign up to let's say Instagram, Facebook, whatever, they ask you for your personal information. There's a particular thing that prompts you to enter before you can even get into the website. Let's quickly practicalize this input function now. So I'm going to come here and say, let's say I have the name as a variable, and this name, I want to prompt the user to enter each or their name. Let it enter their name. So I will come here and say, what is your name? Like this. So what is your name is what I'm going to ask the user. So I don't have to print this particular input function because it's a prompt already on its own. So you don't have to print it. You can see I added what input in front of it. So it runs on its own automatically. So all I just have to do is to Control S, click on F5. You can see in this outside is prompting me to enter my name. You can see that. I'm going to zoom in for you to see. So it's asking what is your name. So I have to enter my name. I can say Blue Ghosts Insights, like this. So you can see I click enter, we're done. But if I want to save the user information of data, all I just have to do is to write the print, and I'll call the name of the variable that I have there. So I will say print name, and I Control S, and I come to F5, and it prompts the user, and I can say Blue Ghost Insights, like this. You can see it saves it as what? Blue Ghost Insights. And I can use this input function to do a lot of things. So now let's say I want to do something with this input function inside of this particular data. That is where we're going to basically now go into string formatting. Okay, string formatting. So pay attention as we go into that as soon as we can. Okay, so we're going to talk about string formatting here. So what is string formatting? String formatting is just the aspect of formatting a variable or pins or values inside of a string. Do you understand? Let me give you an example. So let's say I have label 1 as, let's say, 500, label 2 as let's say 12,000, label 3 as, let's say, 5,000. Okay, so all these here that we have are just, integers with variables. You are aware of that, right? So now I want to be able to format this inside of a string without basically writing it out. How can I do that? So I'm going to come here and say print. If I say print, I'm going to open this to parentheses, and inside of this parentheses we are going to add the F in front of it. After you've opened the two parentheses, you bring in lowercase. Remember, your Python is case sensitive. You have to be very careful. If not, any little change or any little spelling can give you an error. So you can see so far we're not having errors, right? So here I can say I want to write two things inside of my string. I've opened my quotation, right? But this F must be outside. Please, I'm going to zoom in here. This F must be outside of this quotation. Are you following? So here I'm going to say, let's say the first thing I want to say, Blue Ghosts have, let's say, must have 5, okay? Here is where I want to put the 500, or let's say 5,000 views here. So open this two curly brackets. I'm opening these two curly brackets that I want to save the particular variable. Then, and the next is, and another value is going to be here for every, so you can see subscribe pass. Voila. So you can see I opened some curly brackets in front of this particular place. We have the Blue Ghost must have a curly bracket and that, because I want to implement some variables inside. So here I want to say Blue Ghost must have let's say 5,000 views. So in front of there I'm going to say views. So in this video, and let's say 12,000. So 12,000. Yes, what am I going to put there? I know you've already gotten it. Label what? Label 2. Okay, label 2 is going to be there. So it's going to have 12,000 likes. Okay. So we'll go next to the next guy. For every, the next one we've used there is going to be let's see, label, okay, label 1 is the one we've not used yet. So I'm going to come down here and say label 1. Okay, so we have this now. So we are good to go, right? We're good to go. So I'm going to just say Ctrl S, F5, and you can see it's prompting me again. Can you see that? It's prompting me again. So one thing, if you don't want this particular thing to keep prompting you, there are two things you can do. You can come here. It's neither you answer this question, you have to input your name. So let's say I just put in a random name, let's say John Doe, like this. So you can see that's only when that is going to run. So for you to avoid things like that, what you just have to do is to comment out this one. So we're going to comment it out. So just come here, in front of it, add your hash in front of it, then also add the hash in front of it as well. Okay, so let's now Ctrl S to save it. Click on the F5. You see Blue Ghost must have what? 5,000 views in this video and 12,000 likes for every 500 subscribers. So it's just an example, right? But you can make that happen as well. Do you understand? You can make that happen. If you're getting something so far in this video, all you can do is to share. Do you understand? Share it with someone that you feel like they also don't understand Python, or they don't understand the whole acronym in Python, the concepts. You found somewhere you can share it with your friend as well. So don't keep it only to yourself. Share it to other people that you know they may find it valuable as well, so that you can also get to more people. All I'm just here to do is to help people like you. Do you understand? You have to know that skills. And the only thing I'm basically doing now is taking out my time and creating this video for you to basically understand. And all I just say is to just like and subscribe. Okay? So that is that for the string formatting. So string formatting is just like you formatting values inside of your string. Are you following? So now, this is where I want to use this input function. So I have to basically explain this string formatting for you before I will use this this example I want to use right now. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say, let's say we have something like this. We already have name, right? So let's go and comment out this guy, or let's just copy him. Copy everything that we have here. So just him. Copy it, and we'll paste it underneath this guy. So remove this print, and now in this print I'm going to take away this particular one. So I want, whenever a user enters his name, you should just give them a message. Do you understand? You give them a message. All I just have to do is to say print, and I'm going to use something to do that. Who can tell me? Good. String formatting. I will bring in the F, and in front of the F I will say this particular user in curly bracket, I will say which is the name of that particular variable. Remember, this name is also a variable that is holding an input function. Are you following? And what is a variable? Is a container used to hold value or data. Okay, so this data type that we have inside of this name is known as what? A string. So we're going to come here to format this particular input function into this string. Okay, so we'll say name. I'll say name, please subscribe to Blue Ghost Insights. Simple. So let's quickly do that. Ctrl S, F5. We'll go down and you see ask what is your name. So the name, let's say, is John Doe. Again, John Doe. We click enter. You say John Doe, please subscribe to Blue Ghost Insights. Simple as that. See, Python is fun. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful when you understand the concept. Especially when I'm the one teaching you this particular Python. I love Python so much because I use it a lot in so many things. Do you understand? So make sure that you subscribe so that basically you can also get more things from this particular video as well. Okay, so there are still more videos coming up like this day in, day out. Okay, and remember, if you want to get an intensive class with me, you understand, one-on-one, let's say you want someone that hold your hands throughout this particular journey and reply to so many questions on the comment section, just go click on the link on the Telegram and I'll be able to reply each of your questions. Okay, it's as simple as that. So in this particular video, we're going to stop here for now. We're going to also do other things in our next class. You understand, so many other things that we can do with this input function as well. Okay, so stay safe, stay profitable,